A Pinch of Basile. I am your host for this next hour. If you're joining us on Facebook, thank you so much. But don't forget, you can call in at 844-790-8255. That's 844-790-8255. We do a live stream on Facebook, which you're probably watching right now, or you can listen online at americamatters.us and on the TuneIn app from your phone or tablet. Just search America Matters. You don't have any excuse not to catch us, for God's sakes. I mean, I'm just telling you, I'm just saying what I feel. You should be watching this show. You should be hooked on every portion of this show right now. So much to discuss. So much. I'm so glad that my co-host finally made it into the studio. Evidently, she used Thomas Cook as a travel agent to get into the studio and just had a little bit of an issue trying to get there. Janice, how are you, my wonderful co-host?
Hey, I was on time.
Were you really?
I am.
So that
here.
Brisk walk, just getting in, was just that was something that was Christian's. That was maybe Mr. Meyer just saw something that he didn't think he saw.
Blame it on Nevada long signals. Anyone who lives here and drives knows what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah.
Listen, my football coach used to say, if you make it exactly at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, you're 5 minutes late.
Yep.
You got to be there 5 to 10 minutes before the appointment. Janice, do you know who I am? I'm just asking. And I'm asking because I forget sometimes. I'm just...
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I hear you, my friend.
So we are here with our new awesome, wonderful engineer. Mr. Meyer, introduce yourself. You don't have any help this time. You are by yourself without Craig. Introduce yourself to our wonderful audience.
I am the newest chief engineer here at America Matters Media. My name is Christian Meyer. I co-host another show on Wednesday mornings, Business Connections with Anita. And other than that, I'm here all day, every day, trying to make these shows go as smooth as possible.
And you're doing a great job, by the way.
Yes,
thank you.
Yeah, you are. You caught on real quick. I mean, we had to put on training wheels for that other guy. I don't want to mention. No, I miss Craig. But we're here, and of course,
let's see. I think the training wheels are yours, my dear.
Really? It's Pinch of Basile. That's what I'm saying.
With the training wheels.
I'm here in my wonderful, glorious, very colorful studio, and as you can tell, we are. I got my favorite backdrop in here, but we are going to go to a new look very soon for a Pinch of Basile.
Yes, we are.
Be prepared. I'm very excited about our new look, folks. For those of you who are very, very concerned, yes, you can follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. You can follow me at Basile Fans. That's BASILEFANS. Basile Fans. Today we have a very interesting and wonderful guest, Kira Peikoff, author of Mother Knows Best, a novel. She is a journalist and editor, and her book is about one father, two mothers, one genetically engineered baby. Well, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a party to me. Kira will be joining us in the second half. And listen, I got to tell you, I'm very, very excited. I'm going to be extremely busy for the next 10 to 12 days. First of all, this weekend, folks, because a lot of you are going, Basile, where the hell are you going to be performing at? Well, just to let you know, this Friday night, I'll be in wonderful Paramus, New Jersey. That's right, Paramus, New Jersey. Basile in concert, Growing Up Greek in America. I'm doing it for the Goya, the Greek Orthodox Youth Association, raising much-needed funds so they can do a lot of crazy things as Greek kids will do. And they'll be running all over the place. We have tickets. You can get your tickets at 201-450-8647. And it's going to be at St. Athanasios Greek Orthodox Church. Again, 201-450-8647. And that's Friday night in Paramus, New Jersey. Then, folks, it gets better. I'm going to Piscataway. You're saying, Basile, how can this be? That two places in one state, back to back. How can it be? Well, it is. And I'm going to do it for the AHEPA night, the American Hellenic Educational Progressive Association. We are doing the actual AHEPA Dogs for Wounded Warriors. This is a fantastic organization. We raise over $15,000 to try and get a new dog for these wonderful wounded warriors of ours to
and
take care of them.
And they are not cheap either, so that's really an important, they're very expensive.
Per. Yeah. So you can wind up getting tickets to that show at 732-692-0726 or 732-319-7639. So make sure. And then, folks, we'll be talking about this because we're going to take our questions. It's the Greek Spice Boy Cometh World Tour, the UK tour. I'll be in London. So check this out, Janice. As soon as I wind up getting back from the two shows, when I fly back on Sunday morning, I got to be ready and packed to be at that 8 o'clock flight that evening to go to London, England. And that's where the hell begins for me. I'm going to be on October 2nd in Birmingham, wonderful Birmingham, England. Then on the 3rd, I'll be in Bristol. On the 4th, I'll be in Beckenham. London is October 6th. And Nottingham, where I'm going to be wearing green tights and going around the tree. Yeah, it's going to be a wonderful sight. I'm going to be with a good friend of mine, Chris
Lots of pictures.
Lots of pictures, folks. Chris Marco K will be my opening act. Great to have him on board as well. And I want to thank the people of One-to-One Promotions for doing this. And, of course, Greek Beat Radio, who is one of our sponsors. We'll be talking more about that in a little bit. I got to tell you, I'm really excited about what's going on with this English tour. We're going to take questions from my fans from England, and for the rest of you fans out there, we're taking questions. We're going to really just next segment is just about Ask Basil Anything, especially if you're in the UK. I'm excited about coming there. It's fish and chips sprinkled with a bunch of feta on it. You're going to love this. So listen, we're going to be doing that. So make sure you get your buns back here. Listen, folks, a good friend of mine, too, who has been a guest of ours, it has a new from Axios Wine. And he's got a new product out. You got to say, we're going to share a little bit more after that. But right now, we got to do that little sponsor thing. Take a break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Remember, everything better with a pinch of basil on that bad boy. Mwah!
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ,
a Lotus broadcast station.
The power of radio since 1967.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now, back to the show.
Oh, we are indeed back. You're listening to Basil all around the world. And shouldn't it be, folks? I'm just asking. Shouldn't it be? Of course it should be. You can go directly to the TuneIn app and find America Matters, or just listen live every week at americamatters.us. You can always catch us and find us also on Facebook, on Facebook Fans with Basil. It's going to be Basil Fans, and go to all of our fans pages, all the actual social outlets that we have. But if you miss any part of this show, you can find them under podcasts on the site under A Pinch of Basil, or on Facebook on Basil Fans, as I told you before. But you can find us on America Matters, or just listen live every week at americamatters.us. There's no reason why you shouldn't. Isn't that right, Janice?
That is right. Be here.
Be here, folks. Be here, for God's sakes. And today, here in America, we have registered, people. It's voter registration day. I didn't even know this was a holiday. And of course,
it's not a holiday, but it's a day you're supposed to register to vote. It's to remind everybody. It's a holiday.
I mean, what do you bring someone like a pie? Here is voter registration pie. What do you do? Do you bring? Is it like a meal? Is it a Thanksgiving thing? These are my questions, Janice.
You have many questions.
I have no answers. Trust me. Okay. It is voter registry, and I think everyone needs to go ahead and register to vote. I really do.
Yes. If you're not registered, go register.
Yeah, go register. As long as you vote the correct way, go register. If you don't vote the correct way, no, not so much. I don't want you to vote. No, I'm only kidding. Anyone needs to go register. I don't really care what your political ideology is. I really don't, on a serious note. It's your responsibility to go ahead and vote. Have your vote be heard. I don't care how old or how young you are. Go register to vote. Very important. I tell people that all the time. That's what our forefathers have died for, to give us that freedoms to go ahead and vote. And, the thing is, other countries, Janice, I don't know if you knew this or not, actually have, there's no deadlines for citizens in Canada. Did you know that?
I did, actually. Yes.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
I got to be honest with you. I don't know anything. And I just had no clue. I didn't even know that Canada was an independent country, to be quite honest with you, until 3 weeks ago.
Yep, they get to register when they arrive at the polls on Election Day. I just do not understand that principle, because they must have some, I would hope they have some process of checking those registrations. Right. I would presume.
The thing is, I think when people register to vote, you got to have a legal identification to vote.
You do.
Yeah, in North Carolina, they passed that before. You didn't need to have a license or identification.
Oh, I see. When you register, you didn't?
Even when you registered, you didn't have to. Now, when you register to vote, you must have a valid North Carolina identification. Yeah. And that's the way it should be. A lot of people, what about the poor people who can't afford to get... Please, don't use that.
Well, we could make many arguments on that as far as they seem to find ID for other things. So,
absolutely.
That would be my argument.
And so, you're against illegal immigrants. No. I just want people who can go ahead and actually vote. Yep. I want you to be a person who is of this country legally and to go ahead and vote with a valid identification. And, that's racist. Yes, I don't like plastic with my picture on it. That's all there is. That's about as racist as it gets. But, listen, other countries, to be quite honest with you, take Russia, for example. All you need is to be pushed to go and vote. Do you know there's 100% voter accessibility where all people must vote?
No,
did you know that?
I did not know that. Tell me all about it.
Russia and also communist countries like North Korea, China. If you do not vote and register to vote, you will get a bullet in your head. And I think that's a magnificent way to go ahead and actually motivate people, to go
It's definitely a motivator. I would give you that.
I think so. You don't vote, you'll get this in your head. I think, my God, where do I vote? That's all I'm saying.
That's right. I'm with you. I'm not late. I'm on time for that.
No, I did not know this, and you sent me this bit of information. It hit me because me being Greek, a variety of countries, including India, Greece, the Ukraine, Colombia, have none of the above option on their ballots.
Yes.
Which allows the voter to indicate a really disapproval of all the candidates in the voting system without staying home and, sitting the election out. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. I think that's fine. If you don't care for either one of those, go ahead. Don't make your vote heard, but don't complain.
But at least they come out to vote and vote for other things, even if they say none of the above on that one.
Absolutely. There's always some type of a measure or some type of a thing that they can vote for, whatever.
Right.
Tax
and look who does that besides those countries. Look who else does that.
Oh, wow. Nevada?
Yep. Can you believe that?
You guys just don't give a damn. That's what the problem is. You do not give a damn in Nevada. You sit there with your little
we want
casino.
You to come out and vote. Come on.
You just think it's wonderful if you get... Listen, I like the Russian thing and the Chinese and everything. You don't vote, this goes in your head. Okay, I just like that. Anyway, listen, what I want to do right now, to be quite honest with you...
Ray, you're funny.
I want to go ahead, before we go through some of this other stuff, and we'll get to that, I want to take some questions if there's any questions out there. And before, I'm going to go through this.
Well, Ray wants to make you president, which I think he's absolutely out of his mind now. Ray, I've lost it here. And then I'm going to be vice president.
Ray is so on target. If I were president, things would be working bam, bam, bam. And I would have you as my VP because like I do with this show, I dump all the work on you. So that's the reason why I would have you as my VP.
Thanks, if it wasn't
for Janice,
thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Janice, trust me, nothing would get done on this show. She is the driving force behind a Pinch of Basile, and that's why I love her so much. But listen, as we get there are people right now who are watching this, and I'm sure they have questions about the wonderful tour that we are going to wind up doing in the UK. And also for my Australian fans, hold tight, folks. I will be doing an Australian tour. It's going to be short, not too far. Within the year, I'll be coming into Australia. There's been a couple of people who have reached out to me as far as companies to go ahead and do that. And I'd like to. I really would like to. But I am so excited about going to these cities. I'm going to go to Birmingham, Bristol. These are I've never been to Beckenham. I've never been to Bristol. I've never been to Nottingham. The only thing I knew about Nottingham is that the sheriff of Sherwood Forest is there. And that's all I really knew, to be quite honest with you. I heard about Friar Tuck. He liked to eat a lot. I dig that. I understand his thing. You know, we can go ahead and eat a lot, drink a lot. And I'll be dressed as Robin Hood. And I will prance. If I'm going to wear green tights, I will prance. And, you know.
You're taking videos, right?
Of course, naturally, because I know you're going to want some type of evidence that I'll be prancing in green tights.
Absolutely.
Maybe if people don't vote or register, we can just show them the video. That will be that little bullet in their head that'll never go away. A little visual for my fans out there. So I'm excited. So if you have any questions out there, folks, make sure you get back to us right now. Listen, did you hear about the one about the... Okay. All right. This is one about an Amish guy who got stopped for a DUI in their horse and buggy.
Yes.
Now, okay, do you have any questions on this, Janice? Because I do.
I haven't. On this? Yeah, I have questions. Go ahead. You ask yours first.
Hey, Christian, you have anything you'd like to add to this?
I'm waiting to hear the details before the real questions come out.
That's right.
Well, first of all, I want to know how much has Mr. Ed truly been drinking? And if you're drinking with Mr. Ed, is there an actual conversation between horse?
How about a 12-pack of Michelob Ultra and blasting music from a stereo? How about that?
Well, can you use batteries for that stereo, or is it electrical power? Because if it's electrical power, you're screwed. There's got to be some guy with some type of, system where he can create his own power and energy and stuff like that to create that, because you can't. It's Amish, for God's sakes. And go ahead. Like I always say, now, Amish, have you ever been to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, or any places like that?
I haven't been to Lancaster, but I have been with some of the Amish. I will say that.
You've been amongst the Amish?
I've been amongst the Amish.
An English woman amongst the Amish? Oh, the place is going to hell. Do they know?
Yeah, they don't know who I am.
Yeah, evidently. Well, I just want to know what kind of sobriety test you give the horse.
Boy, there you go.
Can the horse walk a straight line? I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't
these
know.
are important things. Can the Amish guy walk a straight line? These are important questions to me. And of course, the only time I think they can walk a straight line is at the most depressing time for any Amish woman, prom, because they're all wearing the same dress. So anyway, on that note, folks, don't drink. I mean, I think this is actually a story. AllThat'sInteresting.com, they reported on this. And Trumbull County Sheriff Department in Ohio witnessed something right out of first coming out of age comedy. When according to CNN, they came across two Amish men operating a horse and buggy while drinking a 12-pack. I think that's, at least, they have good taste that they're drinking Michelob. That's all I can tell you about that. Anyway,
there you go.
Do we have any questions yet?
No, not really. No, and you got 20 seconds,
Adrian
so you got to go.
Goes, hey, love your show. Always look forward to seeing it in London.
And
Adrian,
she wants to organize some groupies for you, too.
I want to have her group. She is one of the most beautiful women I've ever met in my life. She truly is. And I can't wait to see her. But, folks, listen, we got to do that little break thing, so make sure you stick around. We're going to be right back with a Pinch of Basile.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ,
A Lotus broadcast station.
the power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
No, we are indeed back with a Pinch of Basile. Don't forget, folks, I am streaming this live on Facebook. You can also listen on the TuneIn app or any phone or device. You can go. Let me see. Once you hit that app, just search America Matters. If you're on the computer, go to americamatters.us. If you want to hear we want to hear your comments as well. Shut up, Janet. Go to my Basile Fans page on Facebook. That's BASILEFANS. That's Basile Fans on Facebook. If you have any questions for our guests, they'll be coming up shortly. Give us a call at 844-790-8255, or you can also text. Janice, can you give them that wonderful number, please?
That number is 775-237-2266, and we would love to hear from you.
We really would. I really mean that. Did our guest finally make it in?
Not yet.
Okay, not a
but
problem.
We'll do something here.
Oh, okay, not a problem. Folks,
and we can always ask Basile questions, You
can always ask Basile questions, but I want to tell you just how excited I am, like I said, to be coming on. And again, to my good friend George Colaris, congratulations from Axios Wines, who actually was a guest on our show. Probably one of the best wines I've ever tasted. And now he has come up with this new thing. So, Janice, do you have the website for that from Axios Wines? Do you remember if we have that?
I do. I will get it, and I'll post it on the on the webpage here so that people will have it.
Good friend. I got a chance to do a show for him with Gary Puckett and the Gary. It was Gary Puckett and the what is it?
I can't remember.
The Union Gap.
That's right, Union Gap.
Puckett and the Union Gap.
Yep.
And we did a show together, and what a treat it was to do a show. I was the comedian, and then there was Gary Puckett coming on there. Guy can still rock. I think he actually played for Lincoln's inaugural, and it was really, really wonderful. As old as he was, man, he was still rocking the joint. Place went nuts. So it was really, really cool to see that. But yes, we will talk about me. I will be in the UK, like I said, this Friday and Saturday. I have my shows in Paramus and Piscataway for 2 concerts. If you want to find out more, go to my website at www.basilelive. That's BASILELIVE.com. Check out our website on there. All that information's on there. But then this Basile, the Greek Spice Boy Cometh Tour. That's right. I'll be hearing Birmingham, Bristol, Beckenham, London, and Nottingham. Good friend Chris Marco K. And I want to thank, again, also our promoters, 1-to-1 Promotions, and also Greek Beat Radio.
And you've done such a good job that we have our guest. How about that?
Not only do we have our guest, but we also have one of Robin Hood's merry men on the line as well. But,
all righty then.
Let's go ahead and kick it over to our guest for you.
Kira, for God's sakes, if I have one of the merry men on there. Yes, and who am I asking is calling?
No, you have your guest.
Will Scarlett here.
Oh, there you go.
Hello.
Hello, it's Will Scarlett, one of your merry men in England.
I have a merry man. Okay, I don't even know. I can't even get a merry man in prison, let alone I have one in England. Okay, that's nice. All right, lovely. Yes, how can I help you?
Well, I've got Maid Marian here with me as well.
I have Maid Marian, okay. And how is Maid Marian and you both doing?
We're doing really well. It's raining in Bristol at the moment.
What a shame. London, rain, England, rain, who knew? Listen, I'm excited I will be in Bristol. And as a matter of fact, I'll be in Bristol on the 3rd of October. And hopefully you'll be coming to the show, as all merry men do. Come to Basile Show. We'll prance together. I'm looking forward to it for sure. And to be quite honest with you, Maid Marian, I'm sure is as lovely as can be. But I want to thank all of you in the UK for making me, the emails have been unbelievable. The comments on Facebook and Instagram, because I've been posting it on Instagram, have been unbelievable. A lot of fans on them. So thank you so much for coming. And hopefully I'm going to hear from you all soon.
You will do. But make sure you bring your Wellington boot. But I'm not sure they'll go with the tie.
Okay. I had no idea what the hell a Wellington boot is, but we'll certainly give it a shot. Okay. Anyway, thanks for calling in.
Especially for wet weather.
Okay.
We're looking forward to seeing you in the UK, Basile. Love you, man.
And I love you, and thank you so much. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Now, can I now get back to my guest, who I'm sure is just excited to one day see me in a green pair of tights, Kira Peikoff. Kira, how are you?
Hi. I don't know about the tights, but I'm certainly happy to talk to you.
You don't know what you're missing, Kira. I'm just telling you, me in green tights, it's a beautiful sight. It truly is. Going from one tree to another.
For it.
Folks, let me give you a quick introduction about Kira. Kira is the author of Living Proof, No Time to Die, and Die Again Tomorrow. Her current book, Mother Knows Best. She has a degree in journalism from New York University, a master's in bioethics from Columbia University, and she is the editor-in-chief of leapsmag.com. That's LEAPSMAG.com, a digital magazine about innovation, ethics, and the life of sciences. She has a very impressive list of articles and associations, and I'm so glad to have her here with us on A Pinch of Basile. Welcome, Kira.
Thank you. Great to see
Good.
you here.
Where are you calling us from?
I am in North Central New Jersey.
Really? I'm going to be in New Jersey on Friday. Did I mention that? I guess I did about a couple of dozen times. Just saying. Oh, good for
Perfect
you.
timing.
Yeah, our timing is impeccable. I got to ask you a couple of questions, if you don't mind me asking, because when you come with respect to the ethics in life in the sciences and stuff, what do you really discuss? Because I have a friend of mine who's an attorney doing a bunch of stuff regarding ethics in the various legal genre of things that go on. He wants me to help him produce this thing. Can you tell me a little bit about the ethics in life sciences?
Yeah, so what that refers to is basically there's all these rapidly developing scientific innovations that the world has never seen before, that are potentially groundbreaking, that could transform the planet, humanity, our lives as we know it. And some of these things we just don't know exactly how to deal with them yet. For example, editing DNA or creating entirely new life forms, or using technology to resurrect dead species like Jurassic Park. I mean, all these things are potentially within reach now, and the ethical part of it is, okay, if we have really, really powerful technology, what's the best way to use it to help people live healthier lives and longer lives, and not use it in such a way that it would cause harm? And that's where ethics comes in, and that's what I find really intriguing and interesting about this whole field, and why I went to study it, and based a lot of my books in some of these interesting questions that so far don't have a lot of clear-cut answers.
And and I guess the one question that you're always going to have, I've always been one of those people, because you have the religious right. They'll say, "Oh my God, that's not the right thing to do," or you have people who are more progressive. It says, "Well, I'm a little bit more progressive when it comes to saving lives." For example, I hope one day there is a way for us to take cells and create individual body parts. May it be kidneys, may it be lungs, may it be hearts, may it be eyes. There's a way to do that. And I think one day we probably will get to that point where we can do that, instead of harvesting them from people who are on their deathbed, to actually create these type things. And it all comes from the various cells. And I've always been actually very, very interested in something like that. It says, well, it's against God's nature. And I'm like, well, how about God gave us the ability to go ahead and create this? And I don't know how you feel about that, but I've always felt very, very strongly about that.
Oh, I'm 100% on your side, and that's a lot of what motivates me to tell stories that really cut to the core of how innovation can save and improve human life. I think that story often gets lost in the more academic or political discussions around technology, and part of my motivation as an author, not just as a journalist, is to try to make some of the human side of it feel more realistic, feel more emotional and relatable. And if people read my work and take that away from it, and realize some of the good that these innovations can do, and not just be concerned about potential arguments against them because they're unnatural, I think that would be the fulfillment of everything I could hope for as a writer.
I think you're absolutely on target with that. I mean, if we can go ahead and find a way to eliminate various diseases, may it be diabetes, may it be cancer, may it be any type of thing like that and grab it at a time where we can go ahead and cure it before the child is even born, I think is magnificent. We can eliminate that actual issue and never have to worry about it if we can do that. And people say, well, that's playing with human nature. And I'm like, I don't think that. I think you're preventing it from happening. And I've always been, a huge proponent for that. Can you tell me how you actually, and we only got a minute in this segment, but can you tell me real quickly how you came up with the idea of Mother Knows Best?
Yeah, so I was reporting a story for the New York Times several years ago about advances in fertility medicine and IVF, and I came across this new technique that scientists were studying to create an embryo with DNA from 3 people, not just 2. And the reason for them doing this was to get around a fatal genetic illness that can be passed on by a mother. But if they take one mother's egg and combine it with a healthy woman's egg, then they could potentially get around the child having this disease. So these scientists in real life were lobbying the FDA to try to pursue this research further and do clinical trials with it. And the FDA would not allow it because they felt it was, as you're saying, essentially playing God, doing something unnatural, giving a kid 3 people's DNA. How could we ever do something so bizarre? And to this day, it's illegal to do that procedure, and yet it's already been done in some instances in other places in the world, and children have been born healthy.
Unbelievable. We're going to get back on the last segment. I want to hear more about this. This is extremely intelligent. This is extremely interesting. But we got to do that sponsor thing. We're going to be right back. If you have any questions, please go ahead. This is a wonderful guest that we have. Kira Peikoff will be with us. You're listening to A Pinch of Basile. We'll be right back.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ,
A Lotus broadcast station.
the power of radio since 1967.
Now, back to the show.
Oh, we are indeed back. You're listening to A Pinch of Basile. I am your wonderful co-host with the most, Basil, that's right. And I know you're all looking at me thinking, gotta have me some of that. And I don't quite blame you. We are right now talking to my wonderful
Basil,
guest.
please.
Yeah, it's very difficult to be humble when you're me. That's all I'm saying. When you have that, what's that, sex appeal, it just, it comes out of the computer. It comes out of the speakers. Kira will tell you, I was designed that way. Years ago when my parents had me.
Kira, you don't have to say that. Trust me. Good for you.
We were friends a second ago, Kira. We were friends, all right? Don't forget. I want to, I because sometimes I get so involved when it comes to stuff like this. I really do. And Janice was right. She goes, "You're going to love our guest coming up." And boy, was she right. Janice, you have any questions you like to share?
No, you go ahead. You keep going because I know you got some good questions there.
Well, what do you see in the future? Coming, really that it is something that you don't think we would ever even think of, that you think is coming, that we're not even thinking about right now?
So one thing that is really under the radar of most people today is a very, very new emerging technology in reproductive medicine called IVG. It's going to be the next generation of IVF. And you're not going to believe this, but what it is, it's already been proven to work in mice, is you can take skin cells of an animal, so far just in mice, not in humans, turn them into sperm and egg cells, and then create an embryo. So potentially you could have a baby just by swabbing someone's cheek and getting some cells.
That's frightening.
And it means anyone could potentially give a sperm or an egg. You could have 2 men, 2 women, you could have old people, you could have dead people. Anybody could be a biological parent if you have their cells.
Wow.
That just brings up so many things and so many
there's the
issues.
ethical questions, right?
Oh, my
there's
goodness. Yes.
There's the ethical question. Now, this was done successfully in a mice experiment last year. They were born through skin cells that had been turned back into sperm and egg, born and they lived. And as far as we know, they're still okay. And probably in the next 5 years, we'll see humans.
So that would bring a question for me because I'm involved a lot with stem cell therapies, And how does that relate to all this other stuff? I know you're talking about actually creating people, but what about the people that are here that have these different issues, whether they're autoimmune or otherwise, that seem to be healing from some of those therapies? How, is there more research being done on that than what's being put out there?
Yeah, so stem cell and regenerative medicine is one of the hottest areas in all of life sciences. And actually, I attend a conference every year in January, the World Stem Cell Summit, that brings together researchers all over the world who are doing this kind of work in sick patients and also in healthy patients, like trying to extend longevity. And it's just really exploded, the whole field. It's growing quickly, but as of today, there are still no clinically proven safe and effective stem cell therapies on the market, except for bone marrow transplants, which have been around for a long time, and those are from adult stem cells. So, there's a lot of clinical
What about cord blood? What about cord blood?
And cord blood.
Okay, yeah, because I thought that was approved as well.
Bone marrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the only two types of stem cell therapies that we know work and that are on the market. But there's lots more in pipelines of clinical trials in a lot of major centers.
That's interesting.
I mean, to think about this, this really started about 80 years ago when Hitler tried to create these blonde-haired, blue-eyed people to be supreme beings. And now,
that's the problem with all of this, is that there are too many people that aren't ethical.
And then also the other question is going to wind up being, if you create these type of babies from skin cell or whatever, people are going to say, well, they're soulless people. Were they going to have the same? Are we just creating a super race to become soldiers or a super race to do whatever? And I can see the ethical aspect of that somewhat, but I also see the people who have been trying to have children and they couldn't for whatever reason. Perhaps the wife can't have children, or the husband is having issues, being able to create a child, or his sperm count is low, whatever the case may be. So I think for that it's great. And I guess, man, we really, as a world, not just as a country, but as a world, we really have to seriously take a look at this, because there are going to be some type of mad scientists out there who are going to try and do something stupid like that. And what else is on? Go ahead.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. So we're talking about all this stuff and all these conferences and such that you go to. What do you read in your free time? Do you just read this type of stuff, or do you have other things that you like to read?
Oh, in terms of for fun?
Yes, for fun.
I like to read all kinds of thrillers, like psychological thrillers, sci-fi thrillers, you name it. Like any kind of thriller is really within my wheelhouse. And some women's fiction, some classics, some dystopian stuff. I kind of read all over the place.
Did you always think that you would be a writer? Was that something that you grew up thinking, or is this something in adulthood that came about?
It's something I always found myself gravitating toward. I'm an only child. I didn't have a lot of any siblings to entertain me, and I would come home from school and write stories when I was a kid. And it's just always been there, that drive to tell a good story and to be all wrapped up in it and care and want to know what happened.
Well, these stories are certainly interesting. Sorry, Basil, I'm jumping in there.
No, to be honest with you, that was a damn good question. Is there any particular question you wish someone would always ask you about your new book and they really haven't?
Oh, man, no one's ever actually asked me that question.
I'm really good at
I guess you could, yeah. Well,
I'm just not a bunch of jokes. I just want to let you know that.
One thing that nobody's really asked is how realistic or relatable is the portrayal of the main character, who's a mother. And it sort of is interesting that it brings up my own backstory as a writer. So I set out to write the book before I found out that I myself was actually going to have a baby. So I wanted to write about a mother and going through this whole new experiment and what that would be like and how it would affect her family. And then literally the second week that I was writing the book, I found out I was pregnant.
Wow.
And I went through my pregnancy as my character went through her pregnancy and birth.
That must have been really beneficial.
Yeah.
God, that's cool. I tried to do that, but I couldn't get pregnant, and it was very, very depressing for me. I needed that.
Well, maybe
experience.
some new technology could help you with that. Maybe one day.
Thanks, I appreciate that, Kira. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Did you see the question from G.D. Fenderson, Basil?
No.
He says, my question for the guest, could cells from a woman be used to create her own sperm and impregnate herself?
Oh, good question.
Sorry, could you repeat the first part of it?
Sure. Could cells from a woman be used to create her own sperm and impregnate herself?
So yes, potentially you could have a single person parenthood of a child.
That's just bizarre.
Totally bizarre. You could also have a multiplex parenthood where multiple people contribute parts.
Yeah,
but I see. I actually got.
Everybody needs to read your books.
Yeah, absolutely. But I see a wonderful world where you have a lot of basils walking around.
Please.
No, that's great. Can I ask you what are you gonna write about next? I mean, I'm sure this book's going to be great. Again, Mother Knows Best, folks. You got to go ahead and get it. Is it on Amazon right now?
It is. It's everywhere now.
It's everywhere, folks. You got to get this book because I'm going to go out and get it. Usually most people send us a free book, but it's okay, Kira. No problem. So anyway,
I got it, Basil. I got it, Basil. Kira, don't worry. They sent it to me.
Okay, good.
I'm definitely looking forward to go ahead and reading that. I do get. She does send me the books. What do you got? What do you got coming up? I only have about less than a minute. What else you got coming up real soon?
So books take a little long to write, so I don't have anything right now. But I'm going to explore this whole IVG premise in another book, specifically wanting readers to think about the question, how much would you want to know in advance about your own baby before you have one?
Wow. I'll tell you what, that would be, my wife and I tried to have our second child, and it was so crazy and difficult, but I'll tell you what, we're so blessed that we took the time. But if we would have had this kind of, technology back then. But Kira, can we have you back on one day very soon?
I would love that.
I would love that as well. Kira, thank you so much for being part of our show. That you really made this. I love this topic. I really do. Thank you so much for being on with us.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Folks, reminders, don't forget to listen every Tuesday, every week on Tuesdays, I should say, from 6 to 7 New York City time, Eastern Standard Time. We can be heard all around the world on AmericaMatters.us. If you're using the TuneIn app, just search America Matters and be sure to keep it as to one of your favorites. Questions and comments, go to Basil Fans on Facebook.